Hi everyone, my name is Owen McGab Inao and I'm with HYVA, stands for Hire Your Virtual Assistant. And every time I come across a tool or a service that I think, my community needs to know about, I go out there and, get the CEOs, the founders to come on the show and, let's talk about the tool. And today I have Arjun Arora from Retargeter.com, and I think, you guys should pay attention and listen to what he has to say. So go ahead, introduce yourself to my community. Let's get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Arjun Devarora. I'm the CEO and founder of Retargeter.com. We're an internet advertising solution that basically helps folks stay in front of people who have already engaged with a particular site or an email by using display advertising.
Okay, so what exactly is retargeting?
Yeah, so retargeting is the ability to drop one line of code on a particular site or in an email, and then that code drops a cookie. That cookie we can then read in real time across the web and basically show ads to people who have already been to that site for that site. So let me give you kind of a real world example. Let's say someone shows up on, let's say, just a simple site like Nike.com. They're looking at a couple of shoes. They don't know right away if they're ready to purchase, but they're definitely interested because they've been on the site for quite a while. Now, for whatever reason, they get distracted or something else comes up. They then go to Yahoo, Facebook, YouTube, CNN, kind of all the sites that they traditionally visit.
Yeah.
And then as they go to those other sites, instead of seeing kind of the traditional banner ad for some other company or a punch the monkey ad or something ridiculous, they'll actually see an ad for Nike.com, and they'll see an ad for that site because they had actually just been there. And so, it adds a little bit of serendipity to the situation. They say, oh yeah, I was actually just looking at, those shoes or, that basketball on that site. And now they can actually click on the ad unit, go back to Nike.com and either finish a purchase or it just keeps the brand top of mind. So they keep seeing Nike everywhere, and that's great. So, Nike has somebody who's definitely interested in their products, who's already been to their site, and now they get to reinforce their message in front of that person.
It's just so that my community can understand this. I can give an example of what happened to me was there were several sites I would go to, and once I went to the site, I figured that I went to some other sites that in my daily activities. The sites just kept following me everywhere. I was like, what's going on here? It just don't make any sense. I don't think, how do they know I'm here? And I dove into the researched it a little bit and figured out that there was something called retargeting. And to me, that just made sense in the sense that, if you spend money maybe with pay-per-click and all that to get people to your website and for some reason they don't convert, well, you can now go with them wherever else they're going to and still try and get them back to the site.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yep, that's exactly it.
And maybe let's talk about also, some real-world examples that you have found with some of your clients of how they've been using your, case studies kind of, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. So I think there's a lot of different case studies across a lot of different verticals, and I think because the technology is applicable really to anybody who has a high-value audience that is coming to their site that they want to convert, that they want to stay in front of, we've been able to work with a lot of different folks. So maybe I'll walk through a couple of different case studies in a couple of different verticals. So, one of our kind of biggest subsection of clients is B2B SaaS companies. So, you may be familiar with products like Yammer or Zobni or, Twilio and things like that. So they're, software solutions that are bought and kind of paid for all online. So one case study in that example is a company called Zendesk, and they help people manage customer support issues online, and they have a great platform to do that. Now, what they were able to do is, finding those users who are, interested in purchasing this sort of heavy-duty software is hard to do, and so they're spending a lot of money on different channels, whether it be PPC or events or, inside sales folks, but just driving people to the site. Now, obviously, not all of those people are going to convert right away. It's a serious software product. It's something that a company has to commit to using. And so, as that decision maker went to the site and started surfing around the web, they would see ads for Zendesk, and they would say, "Yeah, maybe I should take a look at that software. Maybe it seems like they're a bit bigger. It seems like they're bigger than I'd initially expected. So let me take a look." And so through that sales process, which may have taken 2 to 3 months, they were kind of top of mind during that whole sales process. And we've seen a great increase in conversion rates for them, both on a click-through basis, meaning the people actually click on the ads and then convert, and also on a view-through basis. So it's the people who have seen several ads and then called a representative or actually just gone back to the site directly because it's an easy URL to type in, and then converted that way. So we're able to track both of those and really show kind of the efficacy of the campaign across both of those types of conversions. So that's one example in the B2B world. Another interesting example in the B2C world, this is kind of a fun one, is one of my friends he's a rock star. So he works or he's at a band. It's called Chester French, and they are looking to always find creative ways to stay in front of their audience. So they're touring around the world and around the country, and they want to be able to kind of take those users that have come in. Users in the internet marketing term, but fans in the rock star world, who have engaged, with their brand, which is, their rock music. And then they're able to capture all those people that come to the site, and they do a great job of social media as well. So they drive a lot of people to their website using Facebook and Twitter. And then they're able to stay in front of them. So they have a new record coming out. They can send people to their merchandise page. And they can get them to buy their T-shirts or their CDs or tickets to their latest show. So they've got a lot of different ways to engage with that community, and so they've been an interesting case study of somebody in a non-traditional business, so to speak, who's used retargeting to stay in front of their audience.
Definitely, and I think on your website you have something listed as a case study with Tim Ferriss. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain exactly what you did for him? Because when I saw Tim Ferriss, I was like, whoa. Wow, yeah. I gotta listen to what they did for him. Go ahead.
Definitely. Yeah, so with Tim Ferriss, had the pleasure of meeting him at a couple of conferences and have some mutual friends. And so he's always looking for interesting ways to kind of promote his brand and his books. And so one of the things that we did with him was not only kind of standard retargeting to actually, drive people to purchase his book, so to go to Amazon or to, go to any platform to actually buy the book. So he's got tens of thousands of blog readers, daily that are coming to his site and engaging with his awesome content. So he wanted a way to stay in front of those users and encourage them to, buy his latest book. But that was kind of one side of the equation. I think the more interesting part with the case study was actually where we leveraged both social media and display to help him increase his fan count on Facebook. So what we were able to do is actually drive users to his fan page so that he could increase his fan count on Facebook. And instead of kind of the traditional, here, let's just send it to Amazon, let's just send the click to Amazon or send the click back to his page, we say, hey, why not send it into Facebook? Why not encourage people to? And then he gets that additional stickiness where he increases his fan count, people start commenting and sharing on his posts, and then they start showing up in, higher up in people's Facebook feeds. And so there's a lot of benefit from increasing the fan counts. And we were able to help him basically take his blog audience and shift it onto Facebook using display advertising.
And that just makes so much sense because, with Facebook now, when someone engages with your brand or maybe your Facebook page, now whoever else is, their friends on Facebook kind of sees what's going on their wall. So it's kind of like one-to-many interaction, even though it's just one person, you're reaching out to a lot of people. And I'm curious though, because when it comes to pay-per-click, they're always telling you how, you need to make up a landing page for your site, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how does that, so that, when they come to your website, if you're doing pay-per-click, you come to not the main website, but you come to a landing page you created specifically so that you can enhance the level of them being able to convert to do whatever you want them to do.
Right.
How does that also play with, in terms of retargeting? Are you trying to retarget to bring people back to the main website, or you're trying to retarget to bring them back to do something specific on your website? That's the question I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, something that we recommend is that folks actually send people back to a landing page. I think it's even more important than PPC in retargeting to send people back to a landing page. And the reason for that is you've actually already engaged with that person. They already know a little bit about your site, but they may not have taken action. So they've probably spent some time on your site learning about what you do. They're familiar with your product, and now they're coming back. So when they're coming back, you want to make sure that you're, driving them to that action point. So I think, the worst thing you can do with a retargeting campaign is just send people to your homepage. You already know that they've, seen your homepage. You know that they've, kind of familiar with your product. So why not kind of move them a little bit closer to whatever that kind of final step is, whether that's, a conversion or a lead generation form, whatever that happens to be. And we definitely recommend, A/B testing those landing pages, leveraging video, slide decks, slide share, anything that you can do to put into that into that landing page that'll encourage people to, kind of fill out that form. And we work with folks like Unbounce, kind of a really easy tool to
create landing pages. Yeah.
Landing pages, yeah, exactly.
And I was curious too, is that, okay, like I use myself as an example. One of the things I'm trying to do now is create webinars where people come onto the website, and they want to learn more about outsourcing virtual assistants. Okay, sign up for a webinar, and then I spend time there teaching you everything I know in regards to it. And it might be the case where they come on that landing page and not do anything. Maybe they come there, but they just move to another place. So I'm trying to find out, how will retargeting work in regards to making sure that it's only showing the specific message to people who didn't complete that action that you wanted them to do when they come to a landing page. How does that work?
Right. So the interesting thing about retargeting is, I think, one, we can place that code on the landing page itself, so that if you're sending traffic in from PPC, and then they're coming to that landing page, you can place the code just right there, and then tag those folks right then, and then as they surf the web, they'll see, the banner ads. What I think is important there is to have congruency in terms of the landing page and then the actual banner ad. So the message that someone is seeing on the landing page should match pretty closely what they're seeing in the banner ad. And then when they click on that banner ad, if you're sending them to another landing page, it should be pretty consistent across that as well. So I think, taking them from, PPC to retargeting to another landing page, post-retargeting, that whole experience should be as consistent as possible.
Okay. So you mean something like the retargeting tool, be it Retarget or any other tool out there that one chooses to use, needs to have the ability to track, does it have the ability to track, did they complete that action? Because I only want to show them the message only if they did not, put in their name and email and go to the next point. So I'm trying to find out how, if retargeting tools are able to do that, to be able to track, did they complete that action? Okay, if they didn't complete it, now I got to show them a message that will bring them back so that they can come and complete that action.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something we use and we heavily encourage, and it's called a burn code. And so what the burn code does is that when someone completes an action, what we would want at that point in time is to have our clients place the burn code on that thank you page or that confirmation page, and let that cookie drop. And what would happen there is that if that person gets to that page, we'll also use our conversion code there. So we'll log a conversion so we can show kind of how many conversions happened. But we'll also drop that burn code, and that burn code allows us to stop showing ads to the person who's already been through the flow. And that's a great way to not annoy people. It's a great way to stay in front of only those folks that are truly potential clients, and just be more efficient with your ad spend. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. So basically, once they complete the action, there is something that's already been put on the page as a code that it takes them out of that sequence of showing them come back to the initial part. Now they don't have to be part of that anymore. I like that.
Exactly.
Definitely. And one thing that struck my mind is, like, if we have all these people, for instance, using your service and making use of the retargeting ads, how does the system know how to proportion what it's showing to the viewer? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
I think one thing that we do kind of when we structure campaigns is we aim to show about 15 to 20 impressions per unique user per month. And the way we do that is we can use daily frequency caps to make sure that someone's not seeing too many impressions a day. And then the amount of impressions we're looking to buy against a particular unique user pool is enough to kind of satisfy that requirement. So we have a couple of checks and balances in place to make that work. Now, the interesting thing about the internet space is that it depends so much on people's surfing habits, if they're away on vacation for a week and other things like that. But it's not an absolute because we don't actually track any personally identifiable data or any unique data. But it is in aggregate, around that 15 to 20 impressions per unique range, and then it's capped on a daily frequency basis. So no person's seeing more than like 3 or 4 impressions a day, so it doesn't get overbearing.
Definitely. And during my research, of retargeting, I saw several different companies out there. And what I even found out that some of them were just way priced out of me being able to even afford it in the first place. It looks
Yeah.
like it's for the big guys. But one of the things I came across was people talking about privacy issues. And I
Yeah,
feel like the discussion won't be complete if we don't talk about that as well. So
of course. Yeah.
what is that exactly? What is the issue with privacy with retargeting?
Yeah, so I think I think obviously by showing somebody an ad who's been to a particular page, there's an element of, wow, I was just there. Maybe they know everything about me, and there can be that fear factor, and unfortunately, there's been articles written in the Wall Street Journal, in the New York Times, and in a lot of different kind of large publications that in my opinion don't kind of capture the entirety of the story. And with regards to retargeting, what we're doing specifically is we have no personally identifiable data. We don't know anything about that particular user. All we know is that this particular browser number, large 10-digit number, has been to this particular site. So let's show people who are on this browser ads for that site. Now, there's no personally identifiable data. We don't know geolocation. We don't know name. We don't know email. We know none of that. We just know that browser has been to that site. Now, I think there are concerns that eventually that if this continues, or if other people are unscrupulous, they may try and track people on an individual basis, or in ways at which they would know their identity. But with regards to retargeting, it's just exclusively non-personally identifiable data about that person being on that particular website. So. And we've had a lot of conversations, internally as a company, and then also externally. So we work with privacychoice.org. We are compliant with the IAB and all of these other things. And so we have opt-out language if needed. If someone doesn't want to be targeted in that way, they can go to our site and opt out. So there's a lot of kind of checks and balances in place right now that help make sure that those concerns are assuaged.
So basically, I guess the best practice with retargeting would probably be do not include personal information as part of your ads, I guess.
And we wouldn't even include that. So I guess that's a good point in saying, like, from an advertiser's perspective, don't send us ads that say stuff like, hey, we know you're here, come back and so stuff like that's really aggressive and annoying, is not going to do well with an audience. So of our several hundred clients, we don't have anybody that does those sort of ads. But people do offer discounts and say, hey, 10% discount on this if you return, or something like that. So there's ways to do it in a way that is not frightening and doesn't get people concerned around privacy issues.
Definitely. I do understand the aspect of getting them, like in my example, coming back to the page to come and enter in their form so they can sign up for the webinar or for my free book.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, I'm trying to understand how that relates to social media, like maybe getting them to
Sure.
sign up for your Twitter page, or even better, to like your Facebook fan page. At
Right.
what point in their interaction with you, is it when they come to your home page? How do you relate them, say, okay, come and join me on Facebook, for instance? How does those
Sure.
two correlate? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think in my opinion, I think the way that I view kind of the marketing funnel is, here you're driving traffic at the top, you're retargeting or re-engaging with that traffic at the middle, then those people are converting at some point in time down here at the bottom, and then once they've converted, you want to get them into your social profile and get them back up to the top and have them drive people back through the top of the funnel. So what, this is a recommendation to say, if someone hits your thank you page or confirmation page, or they've signed up, then start showing them ads for, the social media. So we've got, RT Engage, which allows people to see live Twitter feeds, or to, click to tweet, or the fan retargeting, where you can, do things like that, like drive, people to your fan page. So, that's kind of how we view that universe, in terms of, you've got this audience, you've already wowed them, you've got them to buy your product. Now, get them into your social sphere and have them, help you drive traffic and engage with them and really kind of have conversations.
Yeah, I like that you made that clear to me because, when I saw on the page on your website that you guys had that, I was like, "Ah, but I understand how I could do this other one, but in terms of
Right.
social media, and I like the way you broke it down. So it's like when you've gotten them to take the action, they've shared their email with you. At that point, you get them to, sign up for your Facebook stuff, and that's kind of like where you go to websites where you've done an action, and now they tell you, okay, click here to share with your
Right.
friends. That's kind of the approach to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, a big part of, referrals and understanding how to refer, other folks. And that's, effectively what social media is you've got to capture people when they've been wowed, when they're really excited about about your solution. If you're, asking people to become your Facebook fan when they just visit your homepage, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, they don't know about you. They haven't kind of gone through that experience. But if you capture them at a point where, hey, I'm really excited by this service, it's really helped me, or this product is great, then they're more likely to engage and actually share with their friends and family. So I think that's something important just to take into consideration as one thinks about social media, referrals, and community engagement. All those things are important.
Definitely. And all these interviews where, review services and tools, I mean, I always try and also bring, that, closure to the interview by getting people to know more about the CEO or the founder who I'm interviewing. So
Right.
let's talk about, how exactly did you even figure out there was a need for this service in the first place?
Yeah, so I actually I came from Yahoo Real Estate previously, so I was actually running business development for realestate.yahoo.com. So it was a place where you would go to find a home or rent an apartment, kind of the dashboard for finding homes. And so while being there, got a lot of exposure to kind of the universe of display advertising. We had a lot of advertisers on our site, worked closely with the folks at Yahoo Autos and Yahoo Finance to better understand how people were, buying display on their site. And so while I was at Yahoo, I had exposure to the retargeting technology, which has been around for many, many years, almost 10 years now, if not more. Yeah, but it's been only limited to people who are spending $50,000 or more, who are buying exclusively on one network, and don't really have, and have huge budgets and can run these kind of tests easily. So, had that exposure to this sort of technology in just the context of Right Media and Yahoo. So people were doing retargeting campaigns, and the ads would only show up on one small subsection of the web, which was, Yahoo and Right Media inventory. So I think at that point in time, noticed a couple of different things. One, hey, this is an amazing technology. One, it really works. And two, it's not really available to small to medium-sized businesses. It's not available to, kind of all of these awesome new startups that, that are my friends. Yeah, the small guys. Yeah, and they should be using
And
this
ladies too. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, exactly. And so, for me, I think that was a big thing. And also the maturation of the ad network market at that point in time, the ad exchange market. There were companies, ad networks and ad exchanges that were coming up that allowed, us as a company to get access to more and more inventory. So it wasn't just Red Media, it wasn't just DoubleClick, but now it's OpenX, Rubicon, Fox, AdECN, all of these, ad networks and ad exchanges that we could plug into. So instead of having your ads just show up on one network, now they can show up on multiple networks. So those were kind of the big trends and things that were going on. And then we built a technology layer on top that allowed us to, run those campaigns for much less than $50,000 dollars a month, and by orders of magnitude less. So our smallest package now is $500 a month across all of those networks, whereas before it was $50,000 on one network. So I think that was some of the things that got this whole idea kicked off.
And that was one of the reasons that, the price point, that's one of the reasons that really got me attracted to you guys, because I did my research and said, I can't afford these other people,
Right.
It's priced way out of the small guy who's trying, or small lady who's trying to get involved. And one of the things I also learned from, entrepreneurs when they come on my show is, the successful part, the story, the nice part of the story is, it's always great. But the challenges too, there's always things to, to learn from that as well. So you get this great idea and you want to, get to the next step of making, going on all the different ad platforms and also making it very affordable so that, the smaller people can come in and get involved.
Right.
What challenges did you have with that process?
I think the initial process was very challenging in terms of kind of getting a lot of these ad networks and ad exchanges to work with us. I had worked at Yahoo previously, but we raised a small amount of money and they were asking for $50,000, $100,000 minimums. And we have some amazing, board members / angel investors that, help make the right introductions, but we still had to hustle, get in front of the right folks, build all of those right, relationships in order to be able to have access to all that inventory. And then from a technology standpoint, we worked with a lot of different tool sets, open source ad serving technologies, other types of technologies to kind of bring it all together. And that was also challenging from a product perspective, from an engineering perspective, to kind of put all of those pieces together. And then once we kind of had even some of those few early relationships, then it was about, hey, let's get our first customer, let's get out there and do a little bit of marketing. And kind of very iteratively, we kind of added new customers, we added we kind of continued to improve the product, we added new networks and exchanges, and kind of kept things going that way.
And also, one of the things I also want to try and dive into is, the marketing part of it. What exactly did you find worked in the beginning, and also possibly now, to help attract, new leads to you guys?
Yeah, I think, the first 6 months, the year was pretty much myself just going out there, calling people, emailing a bunch of folks, doing a lot of email marketing, just getting the word out personally myself. And then, just getting 10 clients. You can use that as case study. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had Skype breakdown. I couldn't hear you for a minute. You said you were out there, getting the word out there yourself personally. Continue from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I was out there personally, actually, calling people and, emailing folks and just getting those first 10 early adopter clients. That was kind of the most important thing, was to get those first 10 clients that say, hey, this actually works, this is interesting. And then once we had that, then we started to build the team around it. We had marketing folks and more sales folks to help us out on that front. From a marketing perspective, we do a lot of content marketing, we do email marketing. We're obviously pretty aggressive on Twitter and not so much on Facebook, but more so on Twitter. We do CPC. We do a lot of conferences and events in and around the Bay Area, and even across the country, kind of raise awareness about what we're up to. So a lot of different channels for us for marketing, but the content stuff works really well. I mean, just getting out there, establishing yourself as kind of a thought leader, providing a lot of valuable content back. Email is probably the best way. It's Arjun, ARJUN, at retargeter.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Arjun, ARJUN, DARORA. It's Arjun D. Aurora on Twitter. And then, email is probably the best way to get a hold of me. I'm pretty responsive, somewhat neurotic about email. So a lot of stuff coming in. So please, anytime, feel free to give me a shout.
So welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I really want to know what exactly you think. I mean, if I suck, and if I'm not doing a good job, I want to know, because by your input and your comments, your suggestions, your feedback, that's how I'm going to improve on the entire package of what I'm sharing with you. I really want to improve so that you know that your time is well spent when you watch my videos. And if I do good on interviews, and if you like certain things I do, please let me know so I can even improve upon that as well. And I want to thank you really, because your time is well spent, and your time is important to me, and I want to make sure that I continuously put this information in front of you. So I want you to join my community, and in order to do that, you need to click on the link that says get the free ebook, enter in your name and email, and you will receive as a gift from me my free ebook titled The Entrepreneur's Guide to Running a Business in the Cloud. The reason I do that is because I want to share with you that information. You can check it out and make use of it in your business. In the same vein, I will be sending you email updates every time I have new blog posts, as well as if I have new stuff that is not even on the blog, I want to share with you. That way we can stay in contact. One more thing, before you go, I want to also let you know that if you are really serious about finding, hiring, training, and even working with virtual assistant, if right now you want to get that started, why don't you sign up for my free webinar where I share everything about the entire process. And you can get to do that by clicking on the link on the very top of my blog where it says sign up for the free webinar. Again, thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you next time.